$5 for the old mare. A man's voice cut through the riverside town square like a whip crack, but he wasn't bidding on a horse, he was bidding on a woman. And that woman was me. My name is Margaret Harper. Maggie, if you want to be kind. I am 56 years old, and I am standing on an auction block in the center of Riverside, California, on a September morning in 1885. The sun is merciless and white. My bare feet burn against scorched wood. I have not eaten since yesterday. My dress, the only one I own, clings to my back with sweat. Around me, the crowd laughs. Women whisper behind gloved hands. Men spit tobacco juice and turn away. I am not worth looking at, not worth remembering. 2 days ago, I had a home. I had a bed with clean sheets. I had a nephew who called me Aunt Maggie and hugged me when he came through the door. 2 days ago, I believed family meant something. I was wrong. It started on a Tuesday evening. The drought had been bad that year. The crops had failed. Dust covered everything like a second skin. My nephew, Owen Harper, 32 years old, with his father's brown eyes and his mother's weak spine, came to my room with his wife, Lydia. She was 7 months pregnant, her belly round and tight beneath her dress. Her face was hard. Owen wouldn't look at me. He stared at the floor, at the walls, at his own hands, anything but my face. "Aunt Maggie," he said. His voice cracked. "We don't have enough food. The harvest failed. Lydia is carrying our child. We have to make a choice." I knew what he meant before he finished. I had raised Owen from the time he was 6 years old. His parents, my brother and his wife, had died in a fire. I took Owen in. I fed him. I taught him to read. I sat beside his bed when fever nearly killed him at age 9. I sewed his clothes. I sang him to sleep. I gave him everything, and now he was giving me away. Lydia spoke next. Her voice was cold. "We can't feed everyone," she said. "The baby needs to survive. You understand, don't you?" I looked at Owen. I waited for him to defend me, to say no, to remember the years I spent keeping him alive. But he said nothing. He just stood there, shoulders slumped, defeated. "Please, Owen," I said, "don't do this." He finally met my eyes. "I'm sorry, Aunt Maggie, I don't have a choice." But he did. He always did. And he chose his wife over the woman who raised him. The next morning, Owen drove me to town in the back of a wagon. He didn't speak. I didn't either. What was there to say? At the town square, he handed me over to the auctioneer, a fat man with a red face and breath that smelled like whiskey. The auctioneer looked me up and down like I was livestock. "How much you want for her?" he asked Owen. Owen swallowed hard. "A bag of flour, that's all." The auctioneer laughed. "A bag of flour for a woman past her prime. You got yourself a deal, boy." Owen took the flour. He turned and walked away without looking back. I stood there watching him disappear into the crowd. That was the moment I understood. I was not his family. I was a burden, and burdens get sold. Now I stand on this block, and the auctioneer shouts to the crowd, "Margaret Harper, 56 years old, still strong, can cook, sew, tend livestock. Who'll start the bidding?" Silence. Then laughter. A woman in a blue bonnet calls out, "Who'd waste food on something that old?" More laughter. My hands shake. I ball them into fists. I will not cry. I will not give them that. $3, a man shouts. The auctioneer grins. $3. Do I hear 4? Another voice. $4 and a sack of potatoes. The bidding continues. I am worth $4, then 5. Then a woman with sharp eyes and a thin mouth raises her hand. $5 and a bag of flour, she says. I need someone to scrub floors. The auctioneer nods. $5 and a bag of flour. Oh, going once, I close my eyes. This is it. This is what my life has become. Then a voice, low and steady, cutting through the noise like a blade. $50. And I pay in gold. The crowd goes silent. Every head turns. I open my eyes. A man steps forward from the back of the crowd. He is tall, lean, with shoulders broad from years of hard work. His skin is tanned dark from the sun. His hair is black, streaked with gray at the temples. A scar runs along his left jaw. He wears a dusty cowboy hat, a faded shirt, and boots caked with dirt. His eyes are pale blue, cold as a winter's sky. He does not smile. He does not look at anyone but me. The auctioneer stares. $50? You sure about that, mister? The man reaches into his coat and pulls out a leather pouch. He opens it. Gold coins glint in the sunlight. He pours them onto the auctioneer's table. The sound of metal on wood echoes across the square. $50, the man repeats, in gold. The crowd murmurs, $50 is 2 months' wages for a cowboy. $50 could feed a family through winter. $50 for a woman no one wanted. The auctioneer licks his lips. He counts the coins. Then he moo-ahs, sold, to the gentleman in the black hat. The man doesn't move. He looks at me. His expression is unreadable. Then he turns to Owen, who is standing at the edge of the crowd, clutching his bag of flour. The man walks over. He stands in front of Owen, towering over him. "How much did you get for her?" the man asks. Owen's face goes pale. He stammers, I got a bag of flour, sir." The man stares at him for a long moment. Then he pulls out another pouch. He drops it at Owen's feet. It lands heavy in the dust. "That's $100, the man says, 10 times what you got. Use it to feed your wife and child, and don't you ever call yourself family again." Owen looks down at the pouch. His hands tremble. He doesn't pick it up. He just stands there, frozen. The man turns back to me. He climbs the steps to the auction block. He holds out his hand. "Ma'am," he says, "my name is Jesse Caldwell. I have a ranch 15 miles south of here. I need help. I pay fair wages. But I'm not buying you like livestock. If you come with me, it's because you choose to. And if you ever want to leave, I'll take you anywhere you want to go and give you enough to start fresh." I stare at his hand, rough, calloused, scarred. The hand of a man who works hard, the hand of a man who means what he says. "Why me?" I whisper. Jesse Caldwell's eyes soften just a fraction. "Because someone did this for me once, and I swore I'd do the same for anyone who needed it." I look at the crowd, at the people who laughed, at Owen, still standing there with his head down, at the woman who wanted to buy me for $5. Then I look back at Jesse Caldwell, and I place my hand in his. He helps me down from the block. His grip is steady, firm, but gentle. He leads me to a wagon hitched to 2 horses. He opens the door and waits for me to climb in. I do. He closes the door and climbs into the driver's seat. As the wagon pulls away, I look back one last time. Owen is on his knees in the dust, the pouch of gold in his hands, tears streaming down his face. Lydia is pulling him to his feet, already counting the money. I turn away. I will not look back again. We ride in silence. The town disappears behind us. The road stretches long and dusty ahead. The sun beats down. My throat is dry, my feet still ache. But for the first time in 2 days I can breathe. After a long while I speak. "Why did you really do that?" Jesse doesn't take his eyes off the road. "Because I know what it's like to stand on that block." "You were auctioned?" He nods. "When I was 12, my parents died of fever. No one wanted an orphan. A family named Watson bought me for $30. They called it adoption, but it wasn't. I worked 14 hours a day. They fed me scraps, beat me if I slowed down. I slept in the barn with the animals." "How did you get out?" "A man named Frank Dawson. He was a cowboy, getting on in years but still strong. He saw me one day covered in bruises, dragging a plow like a mule. He asked the Watsons how much they wanted for me. They said $30. He paid it. Then he took me to his ranch. He taught me to ride, to shoot, to read. He treated me like a son. When he died 5 years ago, he left me his ranch. I'm sorry, I say. Jesse glances at me. Don't be. Frank Dawson saved my life. And before he died, he told me something. He said, if you ever see someone on that auction block, you save them. Because if you don't, you lose a piece of yourself. So you saved me. Jesse's jaw tightens. I didn't save you, ma'am. I just gave you a choice. What you do with it is up to you. We ride the rest of the way in silence. The sun dips lower. The land opens up into rolling hills and dry grass. In the distance, I see a ranch, small, modest. A house, a barn, a few fences. Clothes hang on a line, flapping in the wind. Smoke rises from a chimney. As we pull up, a woman steps out of the house. She is young, mid-20s, with dark hair tied back and skin the color of warm clay. She wears a simple dress and an apron. When she sees me, her face breaks into a smile. "Jesse," she calls, "you did it again." Jesse climbs down from the wagon. He helps me out. "This is Rosa Delgado," he says. "She's been with me for 2 years." Rosa walks over. She takes my hands in hers. Her grip is warm. "Welcome," she says. "You're safe here." I look at her, at Jesse, at the ranch, and for the first time in 2 days, I let myself believe it. That night, Rosa shows me to a small room on the east side of the house. It has a bed with clean sheets, a window with curtains, a table with a lamp, and a door with a lock on the inside. I sit on the bed. I run my hands over the quilt. I stand and walk to the door. I turn the lock. It clicks. I am alone. I am safe. I sink to my knees and tears come. Not from sadness, not from fear, but from relief. Because for the first time in decades, I have a room that is mine, a door that locks, a place where no one can take me. I sleep that night without nightmares. The next morning, I wake to the smell of coffee. I dress and walk to the kitchen. Rosa is at the stove frying eggs. Jesse sits at the table reading a newspaper. A young boy, maybe 10 years old, sits across from him. The boy has blonde hair and bright green eyes. He doesn't speak. He watches me with curiosity. "This is Tommy," Rosa says. "He's been with us for 6 months." Tommy waves at me. I wave back. He smiles. Rosa sets a plate in front of me. Eggs, bacon, bread with butter. More food than I've seen in weeks. I eat slowly, savoring every bite. After breakfast, Rosa takes me outside. She shows me the garden, the chicken coop, the barn. We feed the horses. We collect eggs. We hang laundry. The work is hard, but it feels good, honest, fair. At lunch, I sit with Rosa while Tommy plays in the yard. I ask her, "How did you end up here?" Rosa's face darkens. "My husband died 2 years ago. His family blamed me. They said I was cursed. They beat me. They were going to sell me to pay his debts. Jesse heard about it. He came to the auction. He paid $40 for me. Then he brought me here. He gave me a job, a home, and my freedom. Does he do this often?" Rosa smiles, "More than you'd think." That night, after dinner, I explore the house. In the corner of my room, I find a small leather-bound journal. I open it. The handwriting is shaky, old. The first entry is dated April 12, 1859. "Today I bought a boy named Jesse for $30, not because I need help, but because if I don't, he'll die. And if he dies, a part of me dies too. I pray I'm doing the right thing." The entry is signed Frank Dawson. I read through the journal, page after page. Frank writes about Jesse, about teaching him to ride, to read, to be kind. The last entry is dated 5 years ago. "Jesse is a good man, better than I ever was. If I die tomorrow, I die knowing I did one thing right. I saved a boy, and that boy will save others. When the time comes, I've left instructions with Judge Ashford. My land, my savings, everything goes to whoever continues this work. I pray Jesse is that man." My breath catches. Judge Ashford. Instructions. This is not just sentiment. Frank planned for the future. I close the journal. I hold it to my chest. And I understand. Jesse Caldwell is not a hero. He is not a saint. He is a man who was saved. And now he saves others. Not because he has to, but because he cannot live with himself if he doesn't. I place the journal back where I found it. I lie down on the bed. And for the first time in years, I feel something I thought I'd lost. Hope. The days pass like water over stone, smooth, steady, unremarkable. But beneath the surface, something shifts. I wake before dawn. I help Rosa with breakfast. I feed the chickens. I milk the cow. I mend clothes. I scrub floors. I work until my hands ache and my back protests, but I do not complain. Because this work is mine. I choose it, and that makes all the difference. Jesse is kind, but distant. He speaks little. He eats quickly. He spends most of his time in the fields or with the horses. But I notice things. The way he watches the horizon like he's waiting for something. The way his jaw tightens when he thinks no one is looking. The way he keeps a rifle by the door always loaded. One evening, I ask Rosa about it. She is kneading dough at the kitchen table. I sit across from her shelling peas. "Rosa," I say, "why does Jesse keep that rifle ready?" Rosa pauses, her hands still. She looks at me for a long moment, then she sighs. "Because he's afraid," she says. "Of what?" "That they'll come back." "Who?" Rosa wipes her hands on her apron. 3 years ago, Jesse was married. Her name was Sarah. She was beautiful, kind, pregnant with their first child. One night she went into labor. It was too early. Something went wrong. Jesse rode to town for the doctor, but by the time they got back, it was too late. Sarah died. The baby died. Jesse buried them both under the oak tree behind the barn. I press a hand to my chest, the ache spreading through me. Oh, God. Rosa nods. After that, Jesse stopped talking. He stopped going to town. He stopped everything. For a year, he lived like a ghost. Then one day, he went to an auction. He saw a woman being sold. She was 40 maybe, thin, scared. Jesse bought her, brought her here, gave her a room, a job, freedom. She stayed for 3 months. Then she left, went to Oregon. And that's when he started saving people? Rosa smiles sadly. He's not saving people, Maggie. He's trying to fill the hole Sarah left. He thinks if he saves enough people, maybe he'll stop feeling guilty for not saving her. But it wasn't his fault. Rosa looks at me. Her eyes are dark and knowing. Try telling him that. That night, I cannot sleep. I lie in bed staring at the ceiling. I think about Jesse, about Sarah, about the weight of guilt he carries. I understand it. I carry my own weight, the weight of being unwanted, of being a burden, of being sold like cattle. But Jesse's weight is different, heavier. He blames himself for something he could not control. And now he is trying to atone, over and over, one person at a time. I rise from bed. I wrap a shawl around my shoulders. I walk outside. The night is cool and clear. Stars scatter across the sky like grains of salt. I walk to the barn. The door is open. Inside I see Jesse. He is sitting on a bale of hay, his head in his hands. I hesitate. Then I step inside. Jesse looks up. His eyes are red. "Can't sleep?" he asks. I shake my head. "You?" He laughs, but there is no humor in it. Haven't slept well in 3 years. I sit beside him. For a long moment, neither of us speaks. The barn is quiet except for the soft breathing of horses and the rustle of hay. Finally, Jesse breaks the silence. "Rosa told me about Sarah." Jesse stiffens. "Of course she did. I'm sorry. Don't be. It was a long time ago. That doesn't make it hurt less." Jesse looks at me. His eyes are raw, exposed. "You're right. It doesn't. Is that why you save people? To make up for her?" Jesse's jaw sets firm. Maybe. I don't know. All I know is that when I see someone on that auction block, I see myself. I see Sarah. I see everyone I couldn't save. And I have to do something. Because if I don't, what's the point? "The point is to live," I say quietly, "not to atone." Jesse shakes his head. "You don't understand." "I do," I say. "For more than half a century, I've been told I'm worthless, that I'm too old, too worn out, too much trouble. I believed it. Until you bought me. You didn't save me, Jesse. You reminded me that I still have value, that I still matter. And maybe that's what you need to remember too. You matter, not because you save people, but because you're still here, still fighting, still trying." Jesse stares at me. For a long moment he says nothing. Then he reaches out. He takes my hand. His grip is warm, strong. "Thank you," he says. We remain there, hands clasped, until the first light of dawn creeps through the barn door. The next morning, a stranger arrives. I am in the garden pulling weeds when I hear the sound of a horse. I look up. A man rides into the yard. He is old, 70 maybe, with white hair and a neatly trimmed beard. He wears a black suit and a wide-brimmed hat. His face is lined with age, but his eyes are sharp. Jesse steps out of the barn. When he sees the man, he stops. His expression hardens. "Judge Ashford," Jesse says. His voice is flat. The old man dismounts. He tips his hat. "Jesse Caldwell." "Been a while, not long enough." The judge chuckles. "Still holding a grudge, I see. What do you want?" The judge looks around. His gaze lands on me, then on Rosa, who has stepped out of the house, then on Tommy, who peeks around the corner of the barn. "I see you've been busy," the judge says. Jesse crosses his arms. "What's it to you?" The judge reaches into his coat. He pulls out a folded piece of paper. He hands it to Jesse. Jesse unfolds it. His face goes pale. "What is this?" Jesse asks. "A list," the judge says. 47 women and children who've been auctioned in Riverside over the past 10 years. 23 of them are missing. No one knows where they went. No one knows if they're alive or dead. Jesse looks up. "What are you saying?" The judge's expression is grim. "I'm saying someone is buying these people, and they're not bringing them to ranches like yours. They're taking them somewhere else. Somewhere no one can find them." I stand frozen in the garden. My pulse quickens. Jesse folds the paper. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because you're disrupting their business," the judge says. "Every time you buy someone for $50, $60, $80, the price goes up. They can't afford to buy in bulk anymore. And people like that don't take kindly to disruption." Jesse's eyes narrow. "You think they'll come after me?" The judge nods. "I think you need to be careful. And I think you need to protect the people you've saved. Because if they find out you're harboring their merchandise, they'll come for them." Jesse looks at me, then at Rosa, then at Tommy. His jaw sets. "Let them try," he says. The judge tips his hat. "I'll do what I can from the legal side. But Jesse, you need to be smart about this. Don't go looking for trouble." "I don't look for trouble," Jesse says. "It finds me." The judge mounts his horse. He rides away without another word. Jesse stands in the yard, staring at the paper in his hands. Rosa walks over. She looks at the list. Her face goes white. "Maggie," Jesse calls, "come here." I walk over. He hands me the paper. I read it. Names, ages, dates. And next to many of them, a single word. Missing. My hands tremble. I look at Jesse. "What does this mean?" "It means," Jesse says quietly, "that we're not safe. None of us are." That night we gather in the kitchen. Jesse, Rosa, Tommy, and me. Jesse spreads the paper on the table. He points to the names. "These people were bought at auctions," he says, "but they never showed up anywhere. No one filed ownership papers. No one registered them with the county. They just vanished." Rosa leans forward. "You think someone is trafficking them?" Jesse nods. "I think there's a network, people who buy the unwanted, the old, the young, the disabled. People no one will miss. They take them somewhere, force them to work, or worse." Nausea rolls through me. How do we stop them? "We can't," Jesse says. "Not alone. But we can protect ourselves, and we can be ready." "Ready for what?" Rosa asks. Jesse looks at each of us. "For when they come." The next day, Jesse fortifies the ranch. He repairs fences. He boards up windows. He teaches Rosa and me how to shoot. Rosa picks it up quickly. I do not. My hands shake too much. But I try. Tommy watches from the porch. He cannot speak, but he understands. His eyes are wide and frightened. Rosa kneels beside him. She signs something with her hands. Tommy signs back. Then he hugs her. That evening, I find myself on the porch with Jesse. The sun sets in a blaze of orange and red. The air is cool. Crickets sing in the grass. "Do you ever regret it?" I ask. "Regret what?" "Saving people. Putting yourself in danger." Jesse is quiet for a long time. Then he shakes his head. "No, I regret a lot of things, but not that." "Why?" because it's the only thing that makes me feel human. I look at him, at the lines on his face, the weariness in his eyes, the weight he carries. I reach out. I take his hand. He doesn't pull away. "You are human, Jesse," I say. "You don't have to prove it." He looks at me, and for the first time since I met him, he smiles. Not a big smile, not a happy one, but a real one. "Thank you, Maggie." We remain there together, fingers intertwined as the sun disappears below the horizon. And in the distance, somewhere beyond the hills, something waits. Something dark. Something coming. 3 weeks pass. The ranch settles into a rhythm of watchful peace. We work during the day. We bolt the doors at night. Jesse sleeps in the barn with the rifle across his lap. Rosa keeps a knife under her pillow. I lie awake, listening to every creak, every whisper of wind, but nothing comes. On a Thursday morning, Judge Ashford returns. I am hanging laundry when I see the dust cloud on the horizon. A single rider. Jesse emerges from the barn, his hand resting on the pistol at his hip. Rosa calls Tommy inside. We wait. The judge rides into the yard. He looks older than before, tired. He dismounts slowly, his joints stiff. "Jesse," he says, "we need to talk." Jesse doesn't move. "Talk then." The judge glances at me, at Rosa standing in the doorway. "Not out here." Jesse's jaw tightens. "Anything you say to me, you can say in front of them." The judge sighs. He reaches into his saddlebag and pulls out a thick leather folder. He opens it. Inside are papers, dozens of them, forms, records, photographs. "I've been digging," the judge says, "into the auctions, into the buyers. And I found something." Jesse takes the folder. He flips through it. His face darkens with each page. "What am I looking at?" Jesse asks. "A pattern," the judge says. "Over the past decade, 47 people have been auctioned in Riverside. 23 are missing. But it's not random. Every single one of them was bought by one of 3 men. The first died 2 years ago. The second moved to Nevada. The third is still here." "Who?" Jesse demands. The judge pulls out a photograph. A man in his mid-40s, barrel-chested, with cold eyes and a thick mustache. His name is written on the back. Victor Kane. Jesse stares at the photograph. Where is he? He owns a warehouse on the south edge of town, near the rail yard. He claims he's in the freight business. But I've checked the records. No shipments, no employees, nothing. Then what's he doing there? The judge's face is grim. That's what I need you to help me find out. Jesse hands the folder back. I'm not an investigator. I'm a rancher. You're more than that, the judge says quietly. You're the only person who's been disrupting their system. Every time you pay $50, $60, $80 for someone they wanted to buy cheap, you cost them money. You make it harder for them to operate. They know your name, Jesse, and they're watching you. Let them watch. The judge steps closer. His voice drops. You don't understand. These people are not thieves. They're not con men. They're slavers. They take people no one cares about, and they work them to death in mines, in fields, in places where no one will ever find them. And if you keep getting in their way, they will come for you, and for everyone you've saved. Jesse's hand tightens on his pistol. Then we'll be ready. The judge shakes his head. You can't fight them alone. You need the law on your side. But I need evidence, real evidence, witnesses, something I can take to the federal marshals. And you want me to get it? The judge looks at me, at Rosa, at Tommy peeking through the window. No, he says, I want them to get it. Jesse's eyes widen. Absolutely not. Hear me out, the judge says. Kane is careful. He won't let a man near that warehouse. But 2 women? An older woman asking about a lost niece? A younger woman looking for work? He might let his guard down. Rosa steps forward. I'll do it. No, Jesse says sharply. I'll do it too, I say. Jesse spins toward me. Maggie, this is not your fight. Yes, it is, I say. I was on that auction block. I could have been one of those missing people. If there's a chance to stop this, I have to try. Jesse looks at the judge, then at Rosa, then at me. He closes his eyes. When he opens them, They're filled with something I've never seen before. Fear. If anything happens to either of you, Jesse says quietly, I will burn that warehouse to the ground with Kane inside it. The judge nods. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. We make a plan. Rosa and I will go to town tomorrow. We'll pose as two women looking for a missing relative. We'll ask around. We'll get close to Kane's warehouse. We'll look for anything unusual, any sign of the missing people. Jesse insists on coming with us. He'll stay out of sight, but close enough to help if things go wrong. That night, sleep eludes me. I sit on the porch, wrapped in a shawl, watching the stars. The door opens. Jesse steps out. He sits beside me. You don't have to do this, he says. I know. Then why? I turn to look at him, because for decades I was invisible. No one saw me. No one cared. But those missing people, they were invisible too. And if I don't do something, who will? Jesse is quiet for a long time. Then he reaches into his pocket. He pulls out a small silver pendant on a chain. It's simple, worn smooth with age. This was Sarah's, he says. She wore it every day. After she died, I kept it. I thought maybe one day I'd give it to our daughter. But there is no daughter. There's just this. He places it in my hand. The metal is warm from his pocket. I want you to have it, Jesse says. Not because you need protection, but because I need to know a part of her is watching over you. A lump forms in my throat. Jesse, I can't. Yes, you can. Please. I close my fingers around the pendant. I put it on. It rests just above my heart. I'll bring it back, I promise. Jesse takes my hand. You bring yourself back. That's all I care about. We stay there, hands clasped, until the sun begins to rise. The next morning, Rosa and I dress carefully. I wear my plainest dress, my oldest shawl. Rosa ties her hair back and puts on a worn coat. We look like what we are. Two women who have known hardship. Two women no one would look at twice. Jesse drives us to town in the wagon. He stops 2 blocks from Kane's warehouse. Before we get out, he hands Rosa a small pistol. If anything goes wrong, you run. You hear me? You run and you don't look back. Rosa tucks the pistol into her coat. We'll be careful. Jesse looks at me. I nod. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't need to. Everything he feels is written on his face. Rosa and I walk toward the warehouse. The streets are quiet. A few men load crates onto wagons. A dog barks in the distance. We reach the warehouse. It's a low, wide building with boarded windows and a single door. A sign above the door reads, Kane Freight Company. Rosa knocks. No answer. She knocks again. The door opens. A man stands in the doorway. Not Kane. Someone younger, thin, with nervous eyes and dirty hands. He looks us up and down. What do you want? He asks. Rosa steps forward. I'm looking for my sister, she says. Her name is Maria Delgado. She was at an auction in Riverside 6 months ago. A man bought her. I was told he worked for Kane Freight. The man's eyes narrow. Don't know anything about that. Please, Rosa says. Her voice cracks. She's all I have left. The man hesitates. Then he shakes his head. You got the wrong place, lady. We don't deal with people, just freight. He starts to close the door. I step forward. My niece, I say. Her name was Anna. She was 14. She was sold 2 years ago. I heard Kane's name mentioned. I just want to know if she's alive. The man pauses. He looks at me. Something in his face shifts. Pity, maybe, or guilt. Look, he says quietly. I don't know about any niece, but if Kane bought her, she ain't in Riverside anymore. He sends them west. Nevada, maybe, or California mines. I don't ask questions. I just load the wagons. Rosa's eyes sharpen. You load people onto wagons? The man realizes his mistake. His face goes pale. I didn't say that. But you did, a voice says from inside the warehouse. The door swings open. Victor Kane steps out. He is exactly as he looked in the photograph. Broad, solid, with eyes like chips of stone. He looks at Rosa, at me. He smiles, but there's no warmth in it. Ladies, he says, you're asking a lot of questions. My heart hammers against my ribs. I force myself to stay calm. We're just looking for family, I say. Kane steps closer. Family, he repeats. That's touching. But see, I think you're lying. I think you're here because someone sent you. Maybe that cowboy who's been driving up auction prices? I don't know what you're talking about, Rosa says. Kane grabs her arm. She tries to pull away, but his grip is iron. You think I'm stupid? Kane growls. You think I don't know what Caldwell's been doing? He's been buying up people I could have had for pennies. He's costing me money. And now he sends 2 women to spy on me? Let her go, I say. Kane laughs. Or what? You'll stop me? He shoves Rosa toward the thin man. Hold her. The thin man hesitates. Boss, maybe we should just let them go. Kane's eyes flash. You questioning me? The thin man grabs Rosa. She struggles, but he's stronger. Kane turns to me. Now, Grandma, let's talk about what you really want. Before I can answer, a voice cuts through the air. Let them go. Jesse steps out from behind a stack of crates. He holds a rifle. It's pointed at Kane's chest. Kane doesn't flinch. Caldwell, I was wondering when you'd show up. Jesse cocks the rifle. I said let them go. Kane smiles. You gonna shoot me in broad daylight? In front of witnesses? If I have to. Kane looks at the thin man. He nods. The thin man releases Rosa. She runs to Jesse's side. Smart choice, Jesse says. Kane crosses his arms. You think this is over, Caldwell? You think you can just walk away? I'm walking away with them. That's all that matters. Kane steps closer. His voice drops. I know where your ranch is. I know who lives there. That Mexican girl. That deaf boy. And this old woman who thinks she matters? You really want to protect them? Then stay out of my business. Jesse's finger tightens on the trigger. If you come near my ranch, I'll kill you. Kane laughs. Big words, but you won't do it. You're too soft. You save people. You don't kill them. Jesse lowers the rifle slightly. You're right. I don't kill people, but I will if you give me a reason. Kane's smile fades. He steps back. Get out of here, Caldwell, and don't come back. Jesse backs away slowly. Rosa and I follow. We don't turn our backs. We don't run. We walk steadily until we reach the wagon. Jesse helps us in. He climbs up. He snaps the reins. The horses take off at a gallop. We ride hard for 10 minutes. Then Jesse pulls the wagon to a stop. He turns to us. Are you hurt? Did he touch you? Rosa shakes her head. We're fine. Jesse looks at me. Maggie? I nod. I'm okay. Jesse closes his eyes. He exhales slowly. When he opens his eyes, they're filled with fury and fear in equal measure. That was too close, he says. But we learned something, Rosa says. She pulls a folded paper from her coat. While the thin man was holding me, I saw this on the desk inside. I grabbed it when he wasn't looking. She unfolds it. It's a ledger page. Names, dates, amounts, and destinations. Jesse scans it. His jaw tightens. This is it. This is the evidence Judge Ashford needs. Rosa points to one entry. Look, Maria Delgado, my sister's name. It says she was sent to a mine in Nevada, Silver Creek Mine. Jesse's face darkens. Silver Creek is a death trap. Men go in and don't come out. If they're sending people there, they're working them to death. Can we get her out? Rosa asks. Jesse folds the paper. We can try. But first, we need to get this to the judge. And we need to make sure Kane doesn't come after us. We ride back to the ranch without speaking. The sun is high. The air is hot. But I feel cold. Because I know this isn't over. Kane knows who we are. He knows where we live. And men like Kane don't forgive. Judge Ashford arrives at the ranch the next morning. Jesse hands him the ledger page. The judge reads it carefully. His face hardens. This is good, he says. But it's not enough. I need more. Witnesses. Physical evidence. Something that ties Kane directly to trafficking. Then what do we do? Jesse asks. The judge looks at the ledger. According to this, Kane has a shipment going out in 3 days. 10 people headed to Nevada. If we can intercept that shipment, we can free those people and arrest Kane. How do we intercept it? Rosa asks. The judge pulls out a map. He spreads it on the table. Kane uses the rail line. There's a stop here, about 20 miles west of Riverside. It's remote. No station, just a water tower. That's where he loads people onto the train cars. If we're there when he arrives, we can catch him in the act. Jesse studies the map. That's a lot of open ground. If Kane sees us coming, he'll run. Then we don't let him see us, the judge says. We wait. We hide. And when he's vulnerable, we move. Jesse looks at me, at Rosa. You two have done enough. This part is dangerous. Rosa crosses her arms. We're not sitting this out. Neither am I say. Jesse shakes his head. Maggie, you don't have to prove anything. I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm trying to help. Jesse looks at the judge. The judge shrugs. They're adults. They can make their own choices. Jesse turns back to us. If you're coming, you follow my orders. No arguments. No heroics. Understood? Rosa and I nod. The next 2 days are a blur of preparation. Jesse cleans the rifles. Rosa packs supplies. I help Tommy understand what's happening. He's scared. I can see it in his eyes. But he's brave. He hugs me tight before we leave. We set out before dawn on the 3rd day. Jesse, Rosa, the judge, and me. We ride hard. The land is flat and endless. The sun rises, red and angry. By midday we reach the water tower. It stands alone in the desert, tall, rusted, creaking in the wind. There's no cover nearby, just scrub brush and rocks. We'll hide behind those rocks, Jesse says, pointing to a cluster of boulders 50 yards away. When Kane arrives, we wait until he starts loading people. Then we move. We take our positions. The sun climbs higher. The heat is brutal. I crouch behind a rock, my legs cramping. Rosa is beside me, her face set with determination. Jesse and the judge are across from us, rifles ready. Hours pass. I begin to wonder if Kane will show. Then I hear it. The sound of wagon wheels. Voices. Jesse holds up a hand. Stay low. I peek over the rock. 3 wagons roll toward the water tower. Victor Kane sits in the first one, reins in hand. Behind him, in the other wagons, are people. Women, children, old men. Their hands are tied. Their faces are hollow. My blood runs cold. The wagons stop. Kane climbs down. 2 other men join him. They start unloading the people, lining them up near the tracks. Kane shouts orders. Move faster! Train's coming in 10 minutes. One of the men shoves an old woman. She stumbles, falls. Kane kicks her. Get up, you worthless sack. Jesse stands. His rifle is aimed at Kane. That's enough. Kane spins around. His hand goes to his pistol, but before he can draw, the judge steps out, his own rifle raised. It's over, Kane, the judge says. Federal marshals are on their way. You're done, Kane's face twists with rage. You think you can stop me? You think a washed-up judge and a bleeding-heart cowboy can end this? Jesse steps forward. I'm not here to end anything. I'm here to free those people. And if you try to stop me, I will put a bullet through your skull. Kane laughs. You don't have the guts. Jesse fires. The shot rings out. The bullet slams into the ground inches from Kane's boot. Kane freezes. Next one goes higher, Jesse says. Kane's men drop their weapons. They raise their hands. Kane glares at Jesse, but he doesn't move. Rosa and I run to the people tied near the wagons. We cut their ropes. They stare at us, confused, terrified. You're safe now, I tell them. You're free. A young woman grabs my hand. Is this real? Yes, I say. It's real. The sound of hooves echoes in the distance. A group of riders appears on the horizon. Federal marshals, led by a man with a silver star on his chest. The judge waves them over. Marshal, the judge says. Victor Kane, caught in the act of human trafficking. I have witnesses, evidence, and 10 victims. The marshal dismounts. He looks at Kane, at the people we freed, at the wagons. He nods to his men. Arrest him. Kane struggles as the marshals clamp irons on his wrists. He spits at Jesse's feet. This isn't over, Caldwell. There are others. Men bigger than me. You can't stop all of us. Jesse steps close. His voice is low and deadly. Maybe not, but I can stop you. And that's enough. The marshals load Kane and his men onto horses. The victims are given water, food, blankets. Rosa searches among them frantically. Then she stops. Her breath catches. Maria? A thin woman with dark hair looks up. Her face is gaunt, her eyes hollow. But when she sees Rosa, recognition flickers. "Rosa?" she whispers. Rosa rushes forward. She collapses to her knees and pulls Maria into her arms. Both women sob, clinging to each other as if letting go would make this moment disappear. I stand beside Jesse. We watch the marshals ride away with Kane. The sun is setting. The sky is painted orange and gold. "You did it," I say. "We did it," Jesse corrects. I look at him, at the lines of exhaustion on his face, at the weight he still carries. But there's something else now, something lighter, relief. That night we camp near the water tower. The freed people sit around a fire, talking quietly. Some cry, some laugh, some just stare into the flames. Rosa stays close to Maria, holding her hand, speaking softly in Spanish. Maria is weak, barely able to stand, but alive. Alive. Jesse sits apart, cleaning his rifle. I walk over. I sit beside him. "How do you feel?" I ask. "Tired," he says. "But good. You saved a lot of people today." Jesse shakes his head. "I didn't save them. The judge did. You did. Rosa did. I just pulled a trigger." "You did more than that." Jesse looks at me. His eyes are soft. "So did you, Maggie. You risked your life, for people you didn't even know." "They were like me once," I say. "Invisible, forgotten. Someone had to see them." Jesse reaches out. He takes my hand. "I see you, Maggie. I've seen you from the first moment." A warmth spreads through my chest. I know. We stay there, hands joined, as the fire burns low and the stars come out. The next morning, we return to the ranch. Tommy runs out to meet us. He throws his arms around Jesse, then Rosa, then me. We're safe. We're home. Judge Ashford stays for dinner. He tells us that Kane has been charged with trafficking, kidnapping, and conspiracy. The trial will be in 3 months. He'll be convicted. He'll spend the rest of his life in prison. "And the others?" Jesse asks. Kane said there were more. "There are," the judge says, "but we've crippled their network. Word will spread, people will be more careful." It's not over, but it's a start. After dinner, Jesse and I walk to the porch. The night is cool. The air smells like rain. Jesse turns to me. "Maggie, there's something I need to say." I wait. "I didn't bring you here just to work," he says. "I brought you here because I was lonely, because I needed someone. And I thought maybe if I saved enough people, I'd stop feeling empty. But it didn't work. Not until you." "Jesse," I whisper. He takes my hands. "I'm not good with words. I'm not a romantic. But Maggie, you make me want to be better. You make me want to live, not just survive. And I know I'm younger than you. I know people will talk, but I don't care. I love you." Tears stream down my face. "I love you too." Jesse pulls me close. He kisses me. It's gentle, tentative, but full of everything we've both been too afraid to say. When we pull apart, he's smiling, a real smile, the first I've ever seen from him. "Marry me," he says. I laugh through my tears. "Yes, yes, Jesse. I'll marry you." And under the stars, in the place that saved us both, we hold each other, and we believe in tomorrow. 2 months later, autumn arrives with cool winds and golden light. The ranch has changed. There are new faces now, 3 women and 2 children, all victims rescued from Kane's network. They live in the small cabins Jesse built behind the main house. They work the land. They laugh at dinner. They are healing. Maria stays with Rosa. She is still weak, still haunted by nightmares, but growing stronger each day. She helps in the garden. She learns to smile again. But there is one thing left unfinished: the trial. It begins on a Tuesday morning in late October. The courthouse in Riverside is packed. Every seat is filled. People stand in the aisles. They line the walls. Word has spread about Victor Kane and his empire of suffering. Everyone wants to see justice. Jesse and I sit in the front row. Rosa sits beside us, holding Maria's hand. Judge Ashford sits at the bench, solemn and gray. Across the room, Victor Kane sits between 2 guards. He wears clean clothes. His hair is combed, but his eyes are dead. The prosecutor is a young man from Sacramento, sharp and serious. He stands before the jury. "Gentlemen," he begins, "this is not a complicated case. Victor Kane bought human beings. He transported them across state lines. He sold them to mines and ranches where they were worked until they died or escaped. We have witnesses. We have records. We have the defendant's own ledgers. The evidence is overwhelming." He walks to a table. He lifts the ledger page Rosa stole from the warehouse. This document lists 43 transactions over 5 years, 43 people, 43 lives stolen. Some of those people are here today. They will tell you what happened to them. And when you hear their stories, you will understand that Victor Kane is not a businessman. He is a slaver. And slavery, gentlemen, was abolished 20 years ago. The courtroom is silent. Over the next 3 days, witnesses take the stand. Maria Delgado speaks first. She tells the jury about the mine in Nevada, about the darkness, the hunger, the men who died and were buried in unmarked graves. Her voice shakes, but she does not cry. She looks directly at Kane as she speaks. Kane does not look away, but his jaw tightens. Next, a man named Robert Fletcher testifies. He is 40, thin as a rail, missing 2 fingers. He was bought at an auction in 1882. Kane sent him to a lumber camp in Northern California. He worked 16-hour days. He was beaten if he slowed down. He escaped after 2 years. One by one, the victims speak. Each story is different. Each story is the same. Bought, transported, worked, broken. I watch the jury. Their faces are stone. Some look angry. Some look sick. But none look unmoved. On the 4th day, Jesse is called to testify. He walks to the stand, his boots echoing in the silent room. He places his hand on the Bible. He swears to tell the truth. The prosecutor approaches. "Mr. Caldwell, you've been attending auctions in Riverside for several years. Is that correct?" "Yes, sir." "And you've purchased a number of people at these auctions?" "Yes, sir." "Why?" Jesse looks at the jury. "Because I was bought at an auction when I was 12 years old. A man named Frank Dawson paid for my freedom. He taught me that if you see someone suffering and you do nothing, you lose a piece of your humanity. So I started going to auctions, and every time I saw someone no one else wanted, I bought them, not to own them, but to free them." The prosecutor nods. "And did you ever encounter Victor Kane at these auctions?" "Yes, sir, several times." "What happened?" Jesse's eyes shift to Kane. "He would bid on the oldest, the weakest, the ones no one else wanted. He always bid low, a few dollars, a bag of flour. When I started bidding higher, he got angry. He confronted me once, told me I was driving up prices, that I was ruining his business." "What did you say?" "I told him good." A murmur ripples through the courtroom. The judge bangs his gavel. The prosecutor continues. "Mr. Caldwell, did Victor Kane ever threaten you?" "Yes, sir." "After we rescued the people from the train shipment, Kane said there were others, men bigger than him. He said I couldn't stop all of them." "And what did you say?" Jesse's voice is steady. "I said maybe not. But I can stop you, and that's enough." The prosecutor smiles. No further questions. Kane's lawyer stands. He is an older man, tired and resigned. He knows he's defending a losing case. "Mr. Caldwell," he says, "you admit you've spent thousands of dollars buying people at auctions. Isn't it possible you're simply trying to disrupt legitimate business transactions?" Jesse's eyes narrow. "There's nothing legitimate about buying human beings. But you yourself bought them. I paid their auction price. Then I set them free." Kane never set anyone free. He worked them until they died. The lawyer tries a few more questions, but Jesse doesn't waver. Finally, the lawyer sits down. Jesse steps off the stand. He walks back to our row. I reach for his hand. He squeezes it. On the 5th day, the prosecution rests. Kane's lawyer calls no witnesses. There is nothing to say in Kane's defense. The lawyer simply argues that Kane was operating within the law, that the people he bought were sold legally, that he cannot be held responsible for what happened after. The jury deliberates for 2 hours. When they return, the foreman stands. He is a farmer, weathered and gray. On the charge of human trafficking, how do you find? Guilty. On the charge of kidnapping? Guilty. On the charge of conspiracy? Guilty. The courtroom erupts. People cheer. Some cry. Judge Ashford bangs his gavel until the room quiets. He looks at Kane. Victor Kane, you have been found guilty on all counts. This court sentences you to 25 years of hard labor in the state penitentiary. You will serve every day of that sentence. And if there is any justice in this world, you will spend those years thinking about the lives you destroyed. Kane's face is blank. He shows no emotion. The guards lead him away. As he passes our row, he looks at Jesse. His lips move. I read the words, "This isn't over." Jesse doesn't respond. He watches Kane disappear through the door. Then he turns to me. "It's over," he says quietly. I nod, but I know he's right. Men like Kane are not the only ones. There are others. There will always be others. But today, we won. After the trial, we gather outside the courthouse. Rosa embraces Maria. The other survivors hug each other. Judge Ashford shakes Jesse's hand. "You did good work," the judge says. "Frank Dawson would be proud." Jesse's expression softens. "Thank you, sir." The judge reaches into his coat. He pulls out an envelope. "This is for you. What is it?" "Open it when you get home," the judge says. "When you're with family." We ride back to the ranch in the wagon. The sun is setting. The air is cool and clean. Rosa and Maria sit in the back, talking softly. Jesse and I sit up front. He holds the reins with one hand. His other hand rests on my knee. When we arrive, Tommy runs out to meet us. He signs quickly. Jesse laughs. He signs back. Tommy grins. "What did he say?" I ask. "He asked if the bad man is gone." I told him yes. That night after dinner, Jesse and I find ourselves alone on the porch. He remembers the envelope. He opens it. Inside is a letter and a folded document. Jesse reads the letter aloud. "Dear Jesse, if you are reading this, then Frank Dawson's will has been executed. He left instructions that upon his death, his estate would be held in trust until such time as someone continued his work. That person is you. Enclosed is the deed to 200 acres of land adjacent to your ranch. Also enclosed is a bank draft for $2,000. Frank wanted you to expand, to build more homes, to save more people. He believed in you, Jesse, and so do I. Signed, William Ashford." Jesse's hands shake. He unfolds the deed. It's real. 200 acres, more land than he ever dreamed of owning. "I don't understand," he whispers. "Why would Frank leave this to me? Because he knew you'd use it the right way." Jesse stares at the deed, then at the land stretching out before us. "I can build more cabins," he says. "A bigger barn, maybe a school for the children. We can help more people, Maggie. We can really make a difference." I take his hand. "We already have." But Jesse's eyes are bright with something I haven't seen before. Hope. Real, unshakable hope. The next day, Jesse rides to town. He returns with lumber, nails, tools. He hires 3 men from Riverside to help with construction. Within a week, the sound of hammers fills the air. Rosa makes a decision. She wants to open a small restaurant in town. Jesse loans her money, no interest. She names it Delgado's. Maria will work beside her once she's strong enough. They are building something together, something that is theirs. Tommy starts school. A teacher from town comes to the ranch twice a week. She teaches him to read and write. She learns sign language from Rosa. Tommy thrives. The new cabins rise quickly. By December, there are 5 more. Families move in. A widow named Clara with 3 children. An old man named Joseph, who was rescued from a mining camp. 2 young women, sisters, who were freed from the train shipment. The ranch is no longer just a ranch. It is a community, a refuge, a home. One evening, as the first snow begins to fall, Jesse and I walk to the edge of the property. We stand at the fence line, looking out over the land. "Do you remember the day we met?" Jesse asks. I nod. I was standing on that auction block thinking my life was over. And now? I look at the lights glowing in the cabin windows, at the smoke rising from chimneys, at the children playing in the yard. Now, I say, I think it's just beginning. Jesse turns to me. He reaches into his pocket. He pulls out a small silver ring. It's simple, unadorned, but beautiful. I made this, he says, from a piece of Sarah's pendant. I melted it down, reshaped it. I wanted you to have something that meant something. Tears blur my vision. Jesse, I already wear her pendant. I know, but this is different. This is a promise. Maggie, will you marry me? Not because I saved you, not because you saved me, but because we chose each other. I take the ring. It fits perfectly. Yes, I say. Yes, Jesse, I'll marry you. He pulls me close. He kisses me under the falling snow. And for the first time in my life, I feel complete. The wedding is planned for Christmas Day. We keep it simple. No grand ceremony, no expensive dress, just family, the people we've saved, the people who've saved us. On Christmas morning, the ranch is covered in snow. The sun rises clear and bright. Rosa and Maria spend the morning cooking. Clara and the other women decorate the main room with pine branches and candles. Tommy helps Jesse set up chairs. I stand in my room looking at myself in the mirror. I wear a simple blue dress that Rosa sewed for me. My hair is gray, my face lined with age, but my eyes are bright. I am 57 years old, and I am about to marry the man I love. There's a knock at the door. Rosa enters. She holds a small bouquet of winter flowers. She smiles. "You look beautiful," she says. I laugh. "I look old. You look happy. That's what matters." She helps me pin my hair. She adjusts my dress. Then she takes my hands. "Maggie," she says, "you gave me hope when I had none. You gave me a reason to keep fighting. I will never forget that." I hug her. "You did the same for me." We walk to the main room together. Everyone is there. Judge Ashford stands at the front, wearing his black robe. Jesse stands beside him, wearing a clean shirt and his best boots. His eyes find mine. He smiles. I walk down the aisle. There is no music, just the sound of my footsteps and the crackling fire. When I reach Jesse, he takes my hand. Judge Ashford opens a worn Bible. He looks at us over his spectacles. "We are gathered here today," he begins, "to witness the marriage of Jesse Caldwell and Margaret Harper. These two people have walked through fire. They have faced evil and refused to let it break them. They have chosen each other, not out of necessity, but out of love. And that is the greatest gift any of us can give." He looks at Jesse. "Do you, Jesse Caldwell, take this woman to be your wife, to stand beside her, to honor her, to cherish her, for as long as you both shall live?" Jesse's voice is strong. "I do." The judge looks at me. "And do you, Margaret Harper, take this man to be your husband, to stand beside him, to honor him, to cherish him, for as long as you both shall live?" "I do." "Then, by the power vested in me by the state of California, I pronounce you husband and wife. Jesse, you may kiss your bride." Jesse leans in. He kisses me softly. The room erupts in applause. Rosa wipes her eyes. Maria whistles. Tommy claps his hands. Even Judge Ashford smiles. We spend the rest of the day celebrating. There is food, laughter, music. Joseph plays a fiddle. Clara's children dance. Maria teaches everyone a Spanish song. As the sun sets, we gather around the fire. Jesse stands. He raises a glass of cider. "I want to say something," he begins. 5 years ago, I lost everything. My wife, my child, my reason for living. I thought my life was over. But then I met Frank Dawson. He taught me that life isn't over until you stop fighting. So I fought. I saved people because I couldn't save Sarah. But it wasn't enough. I was still empty. Until Maggie. He looks at me. His eyes shine with unshed tears. "Maggie, you didn't just fill the hole Sarah left. You showed me that it's okay to move forward. That loving someone new doesn't mean forgetting someone old. You gave me permission to live again. And I will spend the rest of my life making sure you never regret choosing me." I stand. I take his hand. "Jesse," I say, I spent decades being invisible, being told I was worthless, being treated like a burden. But you saw me. You saw me when no one else did. You gave me back my life. And I will spend the rest of my days making sure you know how much that means. We raise our glasses. To new beginnings, Jesse says. To family, Rosa adds. To home, Maria says. We drink. And in that moment, surrounded by the people we love, I understand something profound. Family is not blood. It is not obligation. It is choice. It is standing beside someone and saying, "You matter to me, and I will fight for you." That night, Jesse and I walk to the cabin he built for us. It is small, warm, with a fireplace and a bed covered in quilts. He carries me over the threshold. I laugh. He sets me down gently. We sit by the fire. He holds my hand. "Are you happy?" he asks. "Yes," I say. "Are you?" He nods, more than I've been in years. For a moment we simply breathe together, the weight of the past few months settling into something softer. Then Jesse speaks again. "Maggie, there's something I need to tell you about Sarah." I wait. "I loved her," he says. "I loved her more than anything. And when she died, I thought I'd never love anyone again. I thought it would be a betrayal. But then I realized something. Love doesn't run out. It grows. Loving you doesn't diminish what I felt for Sarah. It honors it. Because she would have wanted me to be happy. And you make me happy." I squeeze his hand. "I understand. Do you? Because I need you to know. You're not a replacement. You're not second best. You're everything I need. Everything I want." I lean my head on his shoulder. "I know, Jesse. I know." We fall asleep by the fire, wrapped in each other's arms. And I dream of tomorrow. The months pass. Winter melts into spring. The land comes alive with green. We plant crops. We tend animals. We build more cabins. By summer, there are 12 families living on the ranch. 52 people in total, all of them saved, all of them free. Owen Harper comes to visit one day. He is thinner than I remember. His eyes are shadowed. Lydia is with him this time. She holds a baby boy in her arms. Her face is softer than I remember. "Aunt Maggie," Owen says. His voice cracks. "I don't expect you to forgive me. I just wanted you to know I'm sorry. I was a coward. I chose the easy path, and I almost lost everything because of it." Lydia steps forward. Her voice is quiet. "I'm sorry too, Miss Harper. I was scared. Scared of losing my baby. Scared of starving. I convinced Owen to do something terrible, and I've regretted it every day since. I look at them, at the couple who betrayed me, at the baby sleeping peacefully in Lydia's arms, and I make a choice. Owen, Lydia, I say, what you did was wrong. It hurt me. But I understand why you did it. You were scared, and fear makes us do terrible things. I forgive you, not because you deserve it, but because holding on to anger only hurts me." Owen's face crumples. He cries. "Thank you," he whispers. Lydia's eyes fill with tears. She steps forward and places a hand on my arm. "We named him after you," she says quietly. "His middle name is Harper, so he'll always remember the woman we wronged, and so we'll never forget what we almost lost." I place a hand on Owen's shoulder. "If you want to make it right, do better. Be the man your son needs you to be. Be the family your aunt believed you could be." Owen nods. He wipes his eyes. "We're trying." We move to a small farm outside of town. It's not much, but it's ours. And we're teaching our son about kindness, about family, about never giving up on the people who love you. They leave an hour later. As I watch their wagon disappear down the road, Jesse comes to stand beside me. "That was kind of you," he says. "It was necessary," I reply. Bitterness is a poison, and I've had enough poison in my life. One afternoon in late summer, Jesse and I ride out to the far edge of the property. There is a hill there covered in wildflowers. At the top, beneath an oak tree, are two graves, Sarah Caldwell and her unnamed child. Jesse dismounts. He walks to the graves. He kneels. He places a hand on the stone. "I told Maggie about you," he says quietly. "I told her everything, and she understands. She's not trying to replace you, Sarah. No one could. But she's helping me live again. And I think you'd like her. I think you'd be friends. He stands. He wipes his eyes. Then he turns to me. Thank you, he says. For what? For giving me permission to be happy. I walk to him. I take his hand. You don't need permission, Jesse. You just need to believe you deserve it. We stand there, hands clasped, as the sun sets over the land. And I think about all the lives we've touched, all the people we've saved. And I realize something. We didn't just save them, they saved us. 1 year later, on a crisp autumn morning, we gather the entire community for a celebration. Jesse has built a meeting hall in the center of the property. It is large enough to hold everyone. Inside there are tables, chairs, a stage. Judge Ashford stands on the stage. He taps a glass. The room quiets. Friends, he says, 1 year ago, Victor Kane was convicted of human trafficking. He is currently serving his sentence in San Quentin. But his conviction was not the end. It was the beginning. Because of Jesse Caldwell and the people in this room, the state of California has passed new laws, laws that make it illegal to auction human beings for labor, laws that protect the vulnerable, laws that ensure what happened to you will never happen again. The room erupts in applause. The judge raises his hand, but there's more. The governor has authorized the creation of a fund. Money seized from Kane's estate will be used to help victims of trafficking, to provide housing, education, medical care, and the first recipient of that fund is this ranch. Jesse, come up here. Jesse stands. He walks to the stage looking confused. The judge hands him an envelope. This is a grant, the judge says, $20,000, to expand this place, to help more people, to build a future. Jesse stares at the envelope. He looks at me. I nod. He opens it. His hands shake. $20,000, he whispers. The judge smiles. Use it well. Jesse looks out at the faces in the crowd, at Rosa and Maria, at Tommy, at Clara and Joseph and all the others, at me. We will, he says. That night, as we lie in bed, Jesse tells me his plan. He wants to build a school, a real one, with desks and books and a teacher who stays year-round. He wants to build a medical clinic, a place where people can get care without having to ride 20 miles to town. He wants to expand the farmland, grow more food, become self-sufficient. And I want to change the name, he says. Change it to what? He looks at me. His eyes are soft. Harper Haven, after you. A knot forms in my chest. Jesse, you don't have to do that. Yes, I do. Because this place wouldn't exist without you. You're the heart of it, Maggie. You're the reason people feel safe here. You're the reason they stay. I don't know what to say, so I just hold him. 2 years pass. Harper Haven grows. The school opens. 8 children attend. A young woman from Sacramento comes to teach. Her name is Elizabeth. She is patient and kind. Tommy learns to read at a 5th grade level. He writes stories. He draws pictures. He thrives. The medical clinic opens. A doctor named Samuel Wright agrees to visit twice a month. He treats injuries, delivers babies, provides medicine. He saves lives. The farmland expands. We grow corn, wheat, vegetables. We raise cattle, chickens, pigs. We sell the surplus in town. We become profitable. We become stable. And we become known. People hear about Harper Haven. Newspapers write articles. A reporter from San Francisco visits. She interviews Jesse, Rosa, me. She writes a story titled The Ranch That Saves Lives. It's published in Harper's Weekly. Suddenly, letters arrive. Dozens of them. From people asking for help, from victims of trafficking, from families in need. We can't save everyone, but we save as many as we can. On a warm June evening, 3 years after our wedding, Jesse and I sit on the porch. The sun is setting. The sky is painted in shades of gold and pink. Children play in the yard. Laughter fills the air. Jesse takes my hand. Do you ever think about that day? The auction? Every day, I say. Do you regret it? I look at him, at the man who saved me, at the man I saved. No, I say, not for a second. Jesse smiles. Good, because I don't either. We sit together, watching the sun disappear below the horizon. And I think about the journey, about the pain, about the fear, about the moment I stood on that auction block thinking my life was over. But it wasn't over. It was just beginning. Because sometimes the end of one story is the start of another. Sometimes the worst moment of your life leads to the best. Sometimes, when everything falls apart, it's because something better is waiting to be built. I am 60 years old now. My hair is white. My hands are gnarled. My body aches. But my heart is full. I have a husband who loves me, a community that needs me, a purpose that drives me, and a home that is truly mine. I was told I was too old, too worthless, too broken. But I was wrong. And so were they, because age is not the end of value. It is the beginning of wisdom. And wisdom, paired with courage, can change the world. As the stars come out, Jesse stands. He offers me his hand. "Come on, Mrs. Caldwell," he says. "Let's go inside." I take his hand. I stand. And together, we walk into our home, into our life, into the future we built from the ashes of our pasts. And as the door closes behind us, I hear laughter, I hear music, I hear the sound of people living, really living. This is Harper Haven. This is home. This is where broken people come to heal. And this is where I learned the most important lesson of all. You are never too old to start over. You are never too broken to be loved. And you are never, ever worthless. Not as long as you refuse to give up. Not as long as you keep fighting. Not as long as you choose to live. Years later, travelers passing through Riverside would hear stories about a ranch to the south. A place where people went when they had nowhere else to go. A place run by an old cowboy and his wife. A place called Harper Haven. Some said it was just a ranch. Others said it was a miracle. But those who lived there knew the truth. It was both. And it all started with $50 in gold, a broken cowboy, and a woman who refused to believe her story was over. Maria Delgado went on to co-own Delgado's restaurant with her sister, Rosa. It became the most successful establishment in Riverside, known for its warmth and its policy of never turning away the hungry. Tommy learned to speak through sign language and became a teacher himself, helping other deaf children find their voice in a world that often refused to listen. Owen and Lydia Harper raised 3 children on their small farm. They never missed a harvest celebration at Harper Haven. And they made sure their children knew the story of the aunt who forgave them. Judge William Ashford lived to see the anti-trafficking laws he championed become federal legislation. He died at 82, surrounded by the people whose lives he helped save. And Jesse and Maggie Caldwell? They lived and loved and fought for 15 more years. They saved 143 people in total. They never counted, but others did. When Maggie passed away at 75, peaceful in her sleep, with Jesse holding her hand, the funeral stretched for miles. Every person she had touched came to say goodbye. Jesse lived 5 more years. He never remarried. He didn't need to. He had loved twice in his life, and twice was enough. He was buried beside Maggie under the oak tree where Sarah and her child rested. 3 souls who had shaped his life, 3 loves that made him whole. And Harper Haven continued, generation after generation. A testament to what happens when one person decides that the value of a human life cannot be measured in dollars or years. It can only be measured in love, and love, as it turns out, is the one thing that never runs out. The end.